So we'd love to have a word of the day that we'd like you to try and incorporate throughout the meeting. I would like to share my screen. Is that possible, Harry?
Yeah, I'm going to make you as a co-host.
Okay. And if everyone else could please mute yourselves so that we don't get any feedback, that would be wonderful.
I got you, Kathleen. So
You got me?
yeah, I just made you as a co-host.
Great. Okay. So I think you need to stop sharing so that I could, oh, it says, do you want to continue?
Yeah.
It will stop your sharing.
Please do.
Is that okay?
Yeah, please do. That's where I'm going to make you as a co-host as well, so that if there is a noise on the line, you can mute everyone, yeah?
Okay, everyone, let me just try to bring this up. Our word of the day today is alfresco. And Harry kind of started the theme off because he said he wanted to go for a walk outside. So alfresco is out of doors in the open air. So an example being, this being spring, waiters in red jackets with gold buttons dart in and out of the kitchen to ferry drinks from the bark and dishes from kitchens to those who wish of, sorry, I still haven't finished my coffee yet, to those of us wishing to dine al fresco. Working from one of the apartment's 2 rooms getting a little tedious, time to upgrade their Wi-Fi router and take Zoom calls and meetings al fresco. And if you like my background, you could pretend that I'm outside al fresco on the swing with the other children in the background. Now we also have some synonyms: exterior, outside, open air or external, and also some antonyms: indoor, interior, internal, and domestic. So I hope today you all get a chance to go for a walk or have a little snack al fresco. Back to you, Harry.
Thank you, word master of the day. And what a fantastic word that suits with the climate of the day here. I wish I could also sit in al fresco and start off my session, but we'll do it some other day. I would like to then next introduce timer of the day, Tasveer Ahmad Khan. Tasveer, would you like to announce what you will be doing as a timer of the day?
Thank you, Harry. Hi, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you are. As a timer of the day for your speeches, icebreakers, I'll be showing you a green card when you do your 4 minutes, since your speeches are from 4 to 6 minutes. So at 5 minutes, I will show yellow card, and at 6 minutes, I will show you red card. And in case of table topics, I'll be showing you green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute and 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. So that will be my role. And you have to keep monitoring my background cards.
Thank you, timer. We can certainly pin your videos as needed as a speaker. So definitely we'll make use of your tools that you're providing to us. Next, our role as arm counter of the day will be done by Sabine Ishtiak, all the way from Canada. Sabine, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hello, good morning, Harry. How are you?
Fantastic, thank you.
Good morning to everybody. And what I will be doing is I will be counting any duplicate words or any words the person who's like, or keep uttering a couple of times, or like if they have like stop in the middle of the speech. So I will be counting all those things, and at the end of the session, we will share the results, like how many times the person stops and all those things to the presenter or the person who will deliver the speech.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Sabine. With that, we'll be moving on to our scheduled speeches. Our prepared speeches are going to be done by 3 Toastmasters, Yasser, Kashif, and myself. And we'll be subsequently evaluated Yasser will be evaluated by Bruce. Kashif will be evaluated by Kathleen, and I will be evaluated by Will Lukang. And we will have a table topics section, which will be conducted by our veteran Toastmaster and club mentor, Bruce Farr. Now, I do have Kathleen Diaz as the general evaluator of the day. And then at the final few minutes, as a acknowledgement from the club officer, Prabhakar, as a president of Kuwait Club, could you take up that role and end as an officer on thank you note for all the meeting participants? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And once again, before we start the main section, I extend a warm welcome all the way from meeting participants from India. I see Rashmi, Harsh, and others across the globe. And thank you for joining today. We are going to start our session today with a distinguished guest speech, none other than my own professional and personal mentor and our club mentor, Will Lukang. Will, let's give a warm welcome and a round of applause to Will.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Well, welcome, fellow Toastmaster. Really appreciate the opportunity to speak today. The topic of my speech today is how to have a successful Toastmaster club. In my opinion, there are 6 things that we should be doing to have a successful Toastmaster club. Number 1, we need to have officers who knows their roles and responsibility. So what that means is the officer needs to be trained either by their predecessor and also attending the Toastmasters scheduled training. This way, the leaders know what their roles and responsibility and how to better serve their members. They also must be dedicated. They also must dedicate their time and make sure they have the vested interest to connect with their constituent. I think having that connection with your constituent is quite important, making yourself available, making yourself open to questions to your constituent. One of the things I think as part of being an officer of the club is being a leader and role model. I think it's important for people to be able to see you as someone that they could relate to and be able to ask for help. Number 2, ways to have a successful club is to develop a club success plan. Every Toastmaster club must have a club success plan. The officer must work together to identify the goals. I always compare it to Simon Sinek, The Power of Why. Why are we doing what we're doing? If we understand the why, it'll be easier for us to do our job. It'll be easier for us to get the things that we want done because we know why we're doing. And how do we set up our goals? I think the best way to do this is following the SMART principle, making sure your goal is specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, meeting all the educational goal to be eligible for distinguished club could be one of the goals that you set, meaning you want to make sure that there's four people achieving level 1, there's 2 people achieving level 2, and there's 2 more people achieving level 3. There's someone that achieved level 4 and someone that maybe perhaps achieve level 5 or complete the pathways. That could be an educational goal that the club would set. The other goal would be is all officer must be attending the training. I think that's a very, very important goal. And why that's important is because as an officer, not only do we need to learn how to do our job, at times the second training, there's 2 trainings that we need to attend. The first is about orientation and giving us an overview of what we need to do in order to be effective in our role. And halfway to the Toastmaster season, we have another training that's more on sharing best practice, lessons learned, how to be effective as an officer. What are the things we could learn from other clubs? What are the things that other clubs are doing that we're not doing? I think those are the type of trains that's really, really important. Being able to set those SMART goals is going to help the club understand what their true north. At times you're very busy with work, you're very busy with serving your club, but sometimes a sense of purpose is really, really important. Third ways of how to make a club successful is to create a safe and friendly environment. You want our members to be comfortable. The leaders must focus on engaging the members and making sure that the members understand the different pathways, the different programs. Make sure that members can have their question answered, right? I think that's really, really important. Creating a healthy judgment-free zone, meaning if you have a question and people come to you for question, could be simple, could be difficult. We don't show them any indifferent in terms of handling those questions. I think that's really, really important to make our members comfortable to come to us, make ourselves approachable. Number 4, the VPE job. I think that's really, really important. The VPE must stay connected with all the members. I've been a VPE twice already. I spend a lot of my time meeting with all the members. I do schedule meeting with members, try to set their goals. And I apply the SMART principle. What do they want to achieve in the first quarter of the year? What do they want to achieve in the second quarter of the year? What they want to achieve in the third and fourth quarter? It's a lot around the member aspiration. I don't steer them toward what I think they should have. I just encourage them to try to focus on making progress throughout the year. It's about guiding them. It's about leading them toward where they need to be. And it's about helping them realize why they're doing what they're doing. And the other thing that was really, really important as a VP is also making sure you assign mentors to your members. It's hard for you to be able to take care of all your constituent, but if you assign a mentor per member, that mentor could be the primary person that your member go to for questions, for help, for practice, for looking at the project, so on and so forth. I think the VPE role is really, really important in the president because the two of them are the one that brings forth the success of the club. Number 5, how do we have a successful club? Is to have a scheduled meeting. Your meeting must be well organized, well run, communication must go out on time. You must be able to adapt to the situation. When we end up in the COVID situation, our club quickly jumped into an online session. We jump into an online session, but now that COVID is improving, we could go al fresco. We could go out and enjoy a Toastmaster meeting outside in a safe environment where all of us could actually be able to engage one another. I think the meeting should be not only well run. At times, members or people who volunteer for certain role doesn't show up. What does that mean? It meant that the other team member need to just jump in and volunteer for the role. This way, the audience won't even notice there's some chaos that happened. The officer need to be on their feet and be able to adapt to what they need to do. It happened to us many times in our club where certain people volunteer for a certain role, and by the time the club was about to meet, the person was a no-show. We quickly jump in and says, this person do that person do that. So the member comes in and join, they had no idea what happened. It's like nothing happens and everything just went smoothly. And having a scheduled meeting that happened frequently is also important because members get a sense of continuity and schedule allows them to plan how to attend the club activities. And I think it gives them a sense of when do they want to do a scheduled meeting. Number 6, to me, is the most important, is feedback. Why is feedback very important, if I may ask the audience? Why getting feedback from people is very important?
It tells us whether we are improving or not and whether we are in the right direction or not.
Very good point. Any other member that wants to share their insight? Kashif?
It's important because if we not know what we are doing, it's a right or wrong. If somebody from the outside let us know that this is the wrong thing you done, then I will improve that.
Very good point. If you're doing something that the member are not really happy about, you want to hear that. Collection and soliciting members' feedback is key to your success. Being willing enough to hear them and listen to them and even understand where they're coming from is very important. As a club, you want to schedule feedback session with your audience. One of the things that our club did and that I think is quite effective was we call it open mic. Once every other month, we schedule a session wherein instead of doing officers meeting, we actually have an open mic for all our member. That particular session allows our member to engage the officers or our speakers. They're able to ask our speakers, how did they prepare for their speech? What was the motivation for their speech? What does it take to actually plan the speech? Having that ability to be able to engage us in a free and judgments-free zone environment was really, really effective. And the club officer really must be willing to carry one another. In a perfect environment, everyone would do their job. But just like the real world, sometimes people get busy, and every club member must be aware of what's going on and who is falling behind with their work and just jump in. We as a club officer need to be cognizant about the challenges that each one of us are going through. Maybe certain people are facing some work challenges or personal challenges. The officer must work as a cohesive unit to understand where are the deficiency and to be able to work with one another. To be able to have a successful club, not only you need to do the 6 things, I think what's really important is to think about the, the service of what we need to do for a member. What are the things we could do to help our member grow and develop? Having the goal really help us understand where we want to be. Having the goal is one way of measuring our effectiveness throughout the process. I think at the end of the day, we need to look at how are we doing with our goals. So what we should do is measure yourself over the next year, and every 2 months, the officer should look at the goal and say, how are we doing? Are we making progress? Are we not? This way you know where you're heading. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Let's give a big round of applause to our club mentor, Will Lukang, for a wonderful speech. What could be a more relevant topic than 4 MECA clubs starting around the same time, around the end of the March, and we are on our way to become one of the successful clubs and want to learn more about best practices. And here you are, our club mentor, listing all the best practices for the knowledge of everyone. And that is what makes it more important. So thank you for your wonderful speech and giving a lot of insights for us to become a better club. Thank you so much. With that, we would move into our first speech, and I would welcome Yasser Imtiaz to the stage. Yasser, welcome to the stage.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hari. Thank you, Toastmaster Hari.
Yasser will be doing his icebreaker speech today, and he will be evaluated by our Toastmaster, Bruce Farr. Bruce, would you like to share the objectives of icebreaker speech?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster today. Yasir will be actually presenting the very first project, which is called the Icebreaker. All of our Toastmasters have that opportunity. This is the very first speech you'll get to share with your fellow Toastmasters. So during the next 4 to 6 minutes, I will be listening carefully to Yasir's presentation, where he gets to share something about himself or whatever topic that he feels is very important. Looking forward to this, Yasir. Good luck. Have a wonderful presentation.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Thank you very much, Hari. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to present before this audience. Think positive, be positive. My journey to USA started with a call from a person I never met in my life before, and I only knew him through a person. You need to decide today. You need to make your decision today. We need people. We need to hire people. Let me know now if you want to join us or not. I'm in was my answer to him. He arranged my interview with the hiring manager, and the same night I was received a call from that person. I was attending a wedding at that moment, and I received his call in the middle of the noise and music going on in the background. I rushed to the nearest parking lot to find a quiet and peaceful space. They interviewed me, and at the end of the interview, they offered me a position with one of the 3 offices. I chose San Jose, California, simply because I've never been in USA before, never knew anyone here. I have no relatives, no one here. So I thought maybe this will give me an opportunity to settle down. I will already know a person who's there. And that's how I started my journey. This is how I started my journey to this beautiful place. My decision to accept this offer was based on my desire to move to a new place, to embrace new culture, new society, to visit new places, and to experience the diversified and rich culture and background and the unique opportunity that this land provides to us. And that's why I decided to move here. Leaving your loved ones behind is not easy. It's not easy task, but I made this choice, and here I am in this country. During this journey, I met so many people. I made new friends. I've been to many places. I lived and worked on the East Coast, West Coast, in the Midwest, and now New Jersey. Excuse me. New Jersey is my home now. And during this process, I have the opportunity of learning new things and all of that stuff. During my interview day at the embassy, the immigration officer said, "Welcome to USA. This is a funny place." And he's right in a lot of ways that USA is a funny and unique place. It is so much diversified, so much rich in culture. Where on earth you will find a place where you can meet people from so much diversified background, experience, ethnicity, race, and all of that. It's only possible here in USA. So much diversified, so much unique, yet so much unified and one place it is to be. That's how I did all of this. Now I have my kids here. They're going to school here. This is my new home. This is my new place, and all of that just because I just kept my frame of mind positive, think positive, and I moved on with my decision. Just keep remembering one thing in life: there is no right or wrong decision. These are the choices one make in life, and you have to live with your choices. You have to accept and embrace those changes. You cannot have the best of both the worlds. You just need to be positive. Sometimes in life, you just have to embrace something which you have never experienced before. But be positive. Just be with a positive frame of mind and just do it. And that way, it will give you. Believe or not, it will give you opportunity. It will expose you to the places, to the experiences you probably have never imagined. Yes, you will do it. And that's how I do it. Again, just keep in mind, no right or wrong choices. There's no right or wrong decision. The choices you made, and just think positive, be positive, live positive. Thank you very much again for this opportunity. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster Hari.
Thank you very much, Yasser. What a wonderful speech. You not only broke the ice, but you gave insights to know more about you and to understand your path to here. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Next, I would like to introduce our next speaker of the day, all the way from Ireland, Kashif Hussain. He will be evaluated by our Toastmaster, Kathleen Diaz. Icebreaker speech and the same evaluation that Toastmaster Bruce had shared the objectives. That will be the same objective for Toastmaster Kashif. With that, I'll give the stage to Kashif. Kashif, the stage is yours.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Harry, for your introduction. And thanks, fellow Toastmaster, for your time. Stress is not due to actual situation or problem. it's due to your thoughts. I am Kashyap, father of 3 kids and son of a man who believe that only education is a path to success. When I was growing in a small village in Pakistan, I have many worries in my life, and always I feel that I am in a dark room. I have a habit. Whenever I feel stressed, I start walking al fresco. One day, when I was walking al fresco in a stressful situation and passed near a graveyard, there I read a quote by Wasif Ali Wasif, a famous writer in Pakistan. Worry is not due to the actual situation, it's due to the thoughts. That was one of the turning points in my life. While walking al fresco, I started to review my thoughts and think why I am so worried. I found there are a lot of things that are not in my control or never happened. So why should I worry? From there, I learned how to be stress-free and focus on important tasks only. I got a lot of success in my education and career. I joined PwC as a trainee student and grow at a director level within PwC. Growth was good and I was comfortable working in PwC. But there was always something that I want to do for sure that was not the job. At the same time, it's risk to leave a top company, good career and good salary. I think if I do not take the risk now, then when I will. Life will only change when you become more committed to your dream than you are to your comfort zone. That is a quote by Billy Cox. So I decided to resign from PwC and start a new venture. Even before I submitted my resignation, I got 3 projects. The value of those projects was more than my 2-year salary. With the blessing of God, as soon as I take the risk, still I had not taken any action, just take the decision and taken the risk. The reward was 4 times of my existing salary. By leaving your comfort zone behind and taking a leap of faith into something new, you find who you are truly capable of becoming. In the last 5 years, I took a lot of risk, and whenever I feel I am in my comfort zone, I started a new venture. I started almost 10 ventures in last 4 or 5 years. 3 of them are successful and growing. The remaining were the failures. I learned from these failures and now I am ready to start another venture. Why I am here with you? While I am in business, I realize that talent can win a game, a single game, but teamwork and intelligence can win championships. And the fact that I ignored for a long time, communication, the human connection, is the key to develop a good team. So I am here to develop communication skill and to learn from all of you. Thanks a lot for your time and to listen my story. Over to you, Toastmaster Harry.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kashyap. What a wonderful icebreaker speech that you delivered today. Being an officer of the club and delivering an icebreaker, you are leading by example for other members to follow suit on their own pathway icebreaker speech in the coming weeks and months. Thank you very much for doing that. The third speech of the day, sure. The third speech of the day will be delivered by me. and I'll be evaluated by Will Lukang. It's an icebreaker speech for 4 to 6 minutes. Timer, if you're ready, I'm ready. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends, fellow Toastmasters. If you imagine that you are in alfresco, think about few world leaders who have struggled for their freedom, for their country, and have helped their country to achieve freedom. Could you name few leaders? Anyone?
Mahatma Gandhi.
Fantastic. Anyone else?
Muhammad Ali Jinnah.
Fantastic. Anyone else?
Nelson Mandela.
Fantastic. Anyone else?
Dalai Lama.
Fantastic. So we have so many leaders who are standing up as a role model for us to live with a purposeful and an inspiring life. Never a penny, or should I say paisa, because I come from a background from south of India. So never a penny or a paisa in my pocket. What can I do in my life? I repeat, never a penny or a paisa in my life. What could I do in my life? If you take away anything from my speech today, you could remember the quote that I use it as anchor for my life. As a junior school student and a college student, I believed in the quote, hard work never fails. Hard work never fails. But as I went through so many personal and professional experiences in my life, I began to anchor and adapt my quote to say, hard work, smart work, and a purposeful work never fails. Hard work, smart work, and a purposeful work never fails. If you forget anything at all about me, remember this quote. Why do I say that? I want to give my personal, professional, and my passionate, purposeful segment of my life in 3 different portions. The first P, I think the technology is not helping here. The first P is for personal life. Graduated with a STEM degree, even before we know that it is called STEM, from Engineering Institute from south of India as an electronics and communication engineer. I was a gold medalist from my college. Never did I imagine that it would take at least 1 year and 2 months to get my first interview and a first job. Just because graduating with a gold medalist did not help me, I then realized that hard work alone doesn't help. That's when I realized hard work with the street smartness never fails. I had to go through that personal experience to understand what does it take to crack an interview? What are the other aspects that employers look for? And I had to personally learn through that experience. Now, I have 25 years of career experience across multiple industry, and in financial industry for the last 15 years, I've been working in UBS based out of New York. And I currently work as a group finance IT director, mainly responsible for delivering balance sheet and P&L report annually, quarterly for the group-wide UBS. Let me get on to my professional part of the speech. I am software programmer by choice, and I am an avid learner throughout my career. I've not stopped myself only knowing about database technologies, but when the world changed from Y2K to database to Java and Python, and I don't know what other animals will become a programming language name in future, but I know that the change is permanent and I'm going to adapt as a professional. The last P stands for purposeful life. My purpose is to help my family, and my friends and beyond live a meaningful life to help others. Why do I say that? Because in order to live a meaningful life, I believe that I need a passion. I need a life. I need to live a life of significance. And that significance comes with a meaningful purpose in life. And my purpose in life is to grow to an extent that others can get inspired by my life and I can lead by example. So I repeat, my story can be said in a few words: hard work, smart work, and meaningful work never fails. Thank you, Toastmaster and fellow friends. Thank you. With that, we concluded all three speeches for today. We will now have table topic segment led by our topics master, Toastmaster Bruce Farr. We are at 8:38. We will go on for 10 to 12 minutes till 8:50.
8:15. Harry, I need
8:50.
to, okay, 1 second. Let me just share my screen real quick. Let me do a couple of things here.
Okay, so maybe I need to make you a co-host. 1 second.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let's just make sure. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep, it's coming up.
Very good. Fantastic. Well, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, it's a real pleasure to have you all here. Throughout all of the meetings that I've participated in here, I noticed a high quality of commitment and the level of presentations. And I can definitely see that every one of you will become powerful communicators and speakers through your journey here, not only in Toastmasters, but in your respective professions as well. Now, many of you probably have heard of the TEDx presentations where people get up there and they speak roughly 15 to 20 minutes on a topic near and dear to each of them, and they have a chance to share wonderful insights. So today, we're going to try practicing what it takes to be a TEDx presenter. And each of you will be playing a role as a presenter. I will be your researcher, where I have done the research for you and have put together the slides for you. And you're going to share your thoughts and ideas in a very intuitive way regarding those slides. It's roughly about 4 to 5 slides each of you will have a chance to talk about. And those slides will be pretty much introduced in a very random way. So it'll be free flowing. And the most important thing to keep in mind is that there are no wrong answers, of course. And likewise, let's just make sure that works. As I said again, you'll have roughly about 1 to 2 minutes. And here again, we're going to get started. And I'm going to move down. To give you an example, we're going to start off with Tazwar. Tazwar, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Timer of the, how I will time myself then?
I will keep track of your time, okay? Well, actually, yes, I would do that. And I'll just wave my hand at you when you get to that 2-minute mark. How's that?
Yeah, good.
All right, Tazwar. So our first TEDx presenter is Tazwar. All right, Tazwar, here you go. Get started. As I said again, I'll just go over this very quickly. 1 to 2 minutes, 4 to 5 random images. There are no wrong answers. Free flow ideas. Have fun and enjoy, and good luck. So here's your first slide, Tazwar.
So, excuse me, Bruce, it's my first time. So
Okay.
looking at picture, I have to share my thought, whatever come to my mind.
Yeah, you can imagine a story and talk about it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. My apologies, sorry.
No worries, no worries.
Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, it's my pleasure to talk to you on this TEDx talk. This picture, it inspires me since my childhood. Whenever I looked at it, I imagined what it is. I didn't know that it is a telephone outdoor. And then I had questioned to my parents what it is, and I was told that it's a famous thing in London. You see this.
So I apologize. Let me give you an example. So you would shift, for example, so the telephone reminded me of my dog and a special breed, for example, that we brought with us from our country. And he lives with us. And you will move as you begin to transition your story as I move through these photos. And I know this is awkward for you the first time. So like I said, there's no wrong answers here, but your idea is going to be transitioning between these photographs that you get to see above the screen and sharing your insight and thoughts about them in a very, very fluid manner.
So I'm a dog lover, and in my childhood, I was used to have this dog. Okay, it was a very beautiful dog. I was used to play a lot with it. Okay, one of my favorite game was that I was used to throw a ball, and then this dog would run like crazy to catch the ball and bring it back to me. And then I moved to Dubai and I saw this pyramid. Okay, and it's one of the 7-star hotels in Dubai, and with a very great water slide in it. You go on top of it and then you slide down, and it's such a wonderful experience that right in the middle of the sea, in the Jumeirah Palm Island, you go up on the building, and then while there, I saw like Chinese market. A Chinese market is dedicated only to Chinese sellers, with their Chinese languages, with their everything made in China, everything pretty cheap. You decide what you want and you get. And then the beauty of this Jumeirah Palm Island is this particular hotel I'm talking about, Atlantis, is it's on the beach. There are swimming pools, there are aquariums inside the hotel, and you love to swim in these swimming pools and in beaches. So
Taswir, I want to thank you. You took this in a very powerful way. I have to tell you, you were the very first one. All our members had an opportunity to see what a TEDx presenter is going to be. And now that you set the bar, I'm going to move forward to our next speaker. And as I said here, you guys are going to have a lot of fun. There's no wrong answers. So we're going to get started with our next speaker here. And that's going to be Pravakar. Are you ready, Pravakar? Can you hear me, Pravakar?
Yes.
Okay, so are you ready?
Yeah.
Our next TEDx facilitator is Pravakar. Come on up, Pravakar.
Yeah. Good evening, Toastmasters. Good morning, Toastmasters. What I can see is here a plate of bread and jam. So this is the basic requirement of any human being. Without food, you cannot survive, right? So right from the poor to the very rich persons, you need to have this food. Of course, to earn this food, you have to toil a lot. And you, especially during this pandemic period, you can see throughout the world, there are many poor people who cannot even get their daily bread like this, and they have to struggle. And now I can see a mountain where you can roam over. It's one of the favorite places of mine. I always like to roam over hills. It has been my childhood dream to just go over the kind of mountains, especially with, of course, snow background, but I don't see any background. And now I can see a very beautiful sculpture. And I'm also fond of the sculptures, which I can, I would say, in temples in our places in India. You can see beautiful carved sculptures everywhere in India, in temples. You could see this one is very good, nice. Of course, I'm fond of pet animals like these cats, very beautiful and cute cats. In fact, my daughter wants me to buy a cat or dog, but I personally don't believe in having this. I'm afraid of having these pets because during my childhood, when I'm in my younger days, I used to have a dog which died in between, and I got very good. I mean, mentally, I got affected. So I decided that I should not have any pets in my life. Thank you.
Wonderful job. I must tell you, I know this is challenging, but you guys are rising up to the bar. It's really fun listening to your thought processes. So fantastic job, Pravakar. Great job. At this point, I'm going to bring up our next TEDx facilitator, and that's going to be Harry. Harry, are you ready?
Yes, Toastmaster.
All right, Harry, our next facilitator, please come on up.
Sure. The world is full of colors, and life without color is meaningless. What a beautiful picture. Sometimes it recognizes it may be a part of a human brain where a lot of information is flowing around, and colorful pictures of images that we see in our own eyes are going through different parts of the brain, and we can see that. That's a beautiful picture. Sometimes it reminds me of a scientific fiction story or a movie. And now it's an inspiring picture that I always believe in. Look at the vision, look at the focus of the athlete that says, I am here to stay and win the game. I am focused, I am determined, this is my life, I'm going to take full responsibility of it, and I'm going to win this game. And there you go. You had the vision, now you reach the destination. What a wonderful, beautiful destination you see in Paris, the Eiffel Tower. You can, in morning and afternoon and light, all times, it's colorful and beautiful. This night picture is the best one that stays in my memory to say that if we are focused and determined, we can go in our life as tall as an Eiffel Tower and shine with the bright light that this night light says to us that if you believe in yourself, you can win. And suddenly the world throws you a curveball. You think you are going in the right direction, and suddenly a funny thing happens in life. A creature comes in between and throws you off guard. But if you have a blue focused eyes, you are just going to cheek at the life and say, no matter what, I am like a fish in the water. I know the water will have the up and down tide, but if I stay focused on my track, I can create ripples around me, and that ripple will be the sphere of influence that I can give a positive spin around me in my life. So back to you, Toastmaster.
Harry, I got to tell you, you really surprised me on that one. Fantastic job. I'm going to take some notes on some of these things. You TEDx guys are just awesome. I'm going to now move to Kashif. Kashif, are you ready for this? Kashif, can you hear me? Or Kashef? I may not pronounce your names correctly yet.
Yes, I am ready.
Oh, you are ready. Fantastic. Kashif, please come on up.
I am fond to have a cat, but my wife is afraid of animals. She don't like. I and my kids like to have. So we have to play with the cats to our next door family members. So it's cute, and it's also help you to care anything. So as the nature care you around the world, so you can see the star, you can see the galaxy and the world around you. So everything is caring each other. So my point is that care that makes a society better. So as the nature, as the star, as the sun and moon is caring us, we have to care us. So it's all about the culture, the literature, and the other thing that we have to create. The human being has created that. So in here, I can't understand what language it's, but I think it's maybe Arabic. So there is a lot of things are written in this language. So language is very important for a human being, for any culture, for any society. So we have to learn as languages as we can. And as there is a growth, or as there is a technology and other items are growing, so we can see this is a historic phone booth that was in 19th century was used in London or in any European country, but no, this is not available. This is seems only a history. So it's like that. We have to change ourselves, and we also keep ourselves refreshed. So if we not care the nature will not care us. In this situation, there was a beautiful what you can say, beautiful forest and everything was available, but we are destroying everything. So now we have to stop, and we should focus to care the nature. Thanks, Toastmaster.
I gotta tell you, Kashif, great job once again. You guys are really doing fantastic here this morning. I know you guys are actually this morning, this afternoon, this evening. So let's move on to our next TEDx presenter, and that's
Toastmaster Bruce. We are at 8:43. Probably we may be late.
I
didn't realize the time.
Everyone. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Good job, everyone. Fantastic.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bruce. This is one of the first of the kind, a TEDx idea on a table topic that I happened to witness. You took our table topics preparation to another level, and it's so enjoyable. And we look forward to have this kind of Toastmaster TEDx idea in the upcoming meetings as well. Maybe more members would love to try this and challenge themselves. So with that, I would request our general evaluator, Kathleen Diaz, to open her evaluation segment. Kathleen, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Harry. Hello, everyone. I will start by calling on all of the reports and then give an evaluation of our meeting. Our first reporter will be evaluating our first speaker, which was Yasir, and that will be Bruce 4. Bruce?
Oh, yes. Wow, that was very quick.
Sorry.
No, not your fault. It's just a lot of moving parts here.
Yes.
Generally evaluate. Thank you very much for that warm introduction. And I had the pleasure today to be the evaluator for Yasir Imtiaz. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, Yasir Imtiaz. That's fine.
Yasir Imtiaz.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic job. Number one, thank you very much. I enjoyed your title. Think positive, be positive. What a very reaffirming, positive thought to share and to start off with. You were able to pull us in right away with a very powerful introduction. Being at a wedding, a very festive occasion where family and friends are gathered, I could hear almost the sound of laughter and fun when you get that phone call that you probably would not have heard, but for some reason you heard and you picked up the phone call and you received a request. Are you ready to change your life? Are you ready to move on? And you took the challenge. You were very dramatic. In fact, that you left the wedding ceremony to find another location and was interviewed. And at that time, you had to make a decision, a very powerful decision that most people would want more time to make. And yet you recognize that, look, sometimes the journey begins right now in this moment, and you choose to take it on in a very positive, powerful way. You got to share with us many of your explorations as you move through your travels to the United States and the experiences that you had. Great word usage. I could really visualize some of the stories that people shared with you, the encounters that you had with the interviewers. You really had some really strong messages throughout the entire presentation that made me feel a close affinity for who you are and what you represent as a member of this club itself. As I said again here, your vocal variety itself was pretty consistent, and certainly for an icebreaker, it was appropriate. I would like to see more of you emphasizing key points with modulation and changes to your vocal pattern when you're trying to make a key point to your audience itself. Likewise, the organization was superb. I hear again, you brought in a very powerful introduction. You supported those ideas with good anecdotes that made it real. And then you gave us a call to action where you ended up saying, remember here. And I have to pull this up because there were so many ideas. Let me just make sure I have that. Keep positive, live, Embrace your choices. There are no wrong or right choices. Live positive. That was really powerful. I want to thank you for giving us an opportunity to hear who you are and to get to know you better. And I look forward to your future presentations. Yes, sir. I will certainly follow this up with a written evaluation. Once again, thank you.
Thank you so much, Bruce. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce, for a wonderful evaluation. Now I have to follow that. Thank you. Well, as a general evaluator, I will call on myself to evaluate Kasif. Is that how you say it?
Yes, that
perfect.
is Kashif.
Great. Kashif. Thank you. My name is very particular, so I like to try and make sure that I say it correctly as well, since a lot of people like to call me Caitlin, but my name is Catlin. So now let's get to your evaluation. Wonderful, wonderful job. What I really enjoyed was how intriguing it was, and you led us through a journey that you were having. I'm trying to just bring up my notes. Of course, I can't find them. No, I can't. Hold on. I'll just tell you off of the cuff. I enjoyed your background. It was very pleasing. And the way you used your hand gestures, you really led us through. Even though you weren't standing, you moved your body, which also was very good. The one thing I do want to ask is your camera on a different angle than what you are? Because see, now I feel like you're looking right at us, but during your speech, you kind of were looking this way. And it's hard during this virtual time, but obviously when we're talking, we want to make sure that you can engage the audience. And I know some people don't have their cameras on, but this way you could see if, let's say, you had a joke, that how it went off, if people thought it was funny. So just maybe be cognizant of that. I enjoyed your vocabulary. I thought it really added a flair to your speech, and the leap of faith, I enjoyed that as well. My challenge to you will only be maybe stand. You have a wonderful background, so we could see if you're that engaging with your hands sitting down. I can't imagine what you're like if you're standing up. You're probably moving around, and really keep us even more engaged in your speech, and maybe add a little humor. And that's all.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. And now I will call on our next evaluator to evaluate Harry's speech, which is Will Kang. Will?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, fellow Toastmasters. I got the short end of the straw. I got to evaluate Harry, one of the very good speaker in our club too, and our distinguished president right now. What did you excel in? I observed that you engage the audience, and I think it's really great when you start your speech by engaging your audience, because you quickly grab their attention, and you did a really great job in doing that. I also think that I also observed that you use a storytelling format, which I believe is very impactful because people tend to relate to story. I like the way you say hard work never fails. It kind of gives people a perspective of things that we quickly could remember, keywords that your audience could remember. And that was really great. And then you further transitioned to something more of a transformational, where you said hard work, smart work. And then it's more on purposeful or meaningful work, which what you left us with, which I think I remember. And I think I'm sure the rest of the other member also remember. Using quote is a powerful way of connecting and making people remember what you said. And I think you really did a great job of doing that. And the last thing that you really did a great job on is using your stage. You were moving around, you're not fixing your position. Unlike me, when I did my speech, I was just sitting and stay put in one spot. You move around, you had a good hand gesture. What might you want to work on? You happen to throw in a couple of crutch words, which is very unusual for you. And then I think you have a props, and your props failed, would be nice if you don't let us know your props actually failed. You actually mentioned that it failed. So I think those are the two things. What might you want to challenge yourself? I think voice modulation and changing the tone of your voice is probably one thing you want to challenge with you in your next speech. But overall, great job, phenomenal job, in my opinion. You left us a lot of good nugget of information, especially the quote about hard work, smart work, and purposeful or meaningful work. Thank you very much.
Thank
You
you,
definitely
Toastmaster.
make an impact to everyone,
Thank you.
especially to the group of people right now. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Will, for that wonderful report, and all the speeches were exceptional today. Let's have our timer report, and that is Tashwir.
Thank you very much. First of all, my apologies for a little misunderstanding with the first speech. I didn't know that I have to time Will as well. So then I obviously without, and thank you to Hari, he told me that I have to. So when I give green card, then I started from there. Considering it's 4 minutes, but so after that it was like 1 minute and 12 seconds. So overall, we'll consider as 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Yasir did 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Kashif 4 minutes and 44 seconds, and Hari did 5 minutes and 32 seconds. For myself, Bruce will tell, but on table topics, Prabhakar did 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Hari did 2 minutes and 1 second, and Kashif did 2 minutes and 14 seconds for table topics. Thank you.
Wonderful report. Thank you. It's always hard being the timer the first time. You get the swing of it after that. All right, Sabine, will you please come and give us the all counter?
Yeah, I will share starting with Yasir. So what I have noted, the filler words, he stopped in the middle of the speech for a few seconds. And the second is he was kept, repeated the word, I think, need more than 7 times. And the third thing, what I counted is the caption of his story. So he was, I think, forget maybe in the middle. So he was repeated like 2 times or 3 times his title, and I think after that I didn't even see any filler words in his speech. And next one would be, what was his name? I forgot. Kashif, yes. So Kashif's speech, he actually used the word I couple of times. I haven't heard any filler words or kind of thing, but yes, he was repeated like a couple of times his word like I. More specifically, I mentioned. And in Harry's speech, there was no filler words. There was a little smooth, and I think he also repeated the word "I" or a couple of times in his speech. So it gives a kind of overall pictures like it's only one word we are mentioning, and we don't have like other things to say maybe. Yeah.
Thanks, Savi.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so we will move to our last report, which is the grammarian, which is myself. That's kind of easy. We had the use of the word of the day, al fresco, a few times. Cassif, you used it 3 times during your speech, which I meant to let you know was very impressive to do your first speech. Sabine, I think that their use of the I was okay only for this speech because it's an icebreaker, which was about them. So they were talking about themselves. So that usage is correct because I am telling you about my life and the things that I have been through. So that wasn't really a bad use of the word. In other speeches, it may be depending on where they're moving through the speech, or if they're doing a research and presentation speech, there that would be a lot because they wouldn't be using the right information. But thank you for that. It's always good to get everyone's input. The length of the meeting has We're only 7 minutes over, so I'll hurry up and be quick. But the speeches were very important. You guys were all under the time cap, which is the hardest thing to do when you first start doing your speeches. And I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kathleen, for a wonderful evaluation segment. And thank you all the evaluators for giving great insights to us. I take the responsibility for extending the meeting more than 7 minutes. So without further ado, I would request the president of the club, UAE Club, to conclude the meeting with few words of thanks. Prabhakar.
Thank you, Harihar. Dear Toastmasters, good morning once again. It's really a pleasure for me to having attended this meeting. I always consider that we are one family, a MECA family, with a common guiding force, Salim Sufi, as the founder of MECA Safe Academy. I have nothing much to say, but a few points. It's really, for a new club, it's really a fantastic session. All the prepared speeches, they didn't sound like icebreakers. Every one of the speakers, prepared speakers, they spoke like seasoned speakers, and we had a lot of home take messages, like most important being hard work, smart work, and purposeful work never fails. That was really we have to take on the message. Regarding the officers' roles, Will Lukang has spoke in length about that. He has given really very good points, fantastic points. And I would just like to add 2 points to that. First one is walk the extra mile. For the successful club, all the members need to walk the extra mile. That means you have to take an extra effort than normally expected to be. We all are professionals, or we do have some engagements, but we have to find some time to spend for either giving the speech or taking up the roles or participate in the contest, anything related to club activity. Please walk the extra mile. That will contribute to the success of the club. And second is most common in Toastmasters is this concept of service leadership. In companies, as a manager or as a CFO or any other position, you will have authority. Whereas even in Toastmasters, you don't have that liberty. The members are your ex-com members. They are not your employees. You cannot boss over them or something like that. So what you have to do is you have to adapt the service leadership. You have always ready to do service for the members and the ex-com members. That way you can win over the members, the support of the members. That's how you have to follow. You have to find out what is needed by the members and cater to their needs and do the service. So in that way only you can develop. And it's really a challenge, I am telling you. It's very, very, very easy for to be a leader in a position as a manager or a CFO or a CEO. But when it comes to in a voluntary organization like ours, just Toastmasters, it will be a challenge for your leadership abilities. And you can win over with adapting this concept of service leadership. You have to motivate the members, you have to motivate your colleagues in XCOM with service leadership, by motivating them to the common purpose of Toastmasters, which one is to develop our communication leadership for the benefit of everyone. So this is what I feel. And thank you very much, and for giving me this opportunity also. Back to Hariya Subramanian. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster Prabhakar. And with that, I would like to conclude the meeting, and I want to thank all of you for taking your personal time and sharing with us for our benefit and learning experience. Have a wonderful weekend. See you soon. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Did we decide on that officers meeting time?
Yeah, we could do it. I mean, Will preferred it to be Saturday, July 17th.
Yeah,
Just
that
before
works.
that works for
me
you?
too.
Okay, fine. I'm not sure about Toastmaster Bruce, but I will check it by email. Fantastic.
Thank you.
I will log down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Don't
Thank you.
forget
Bye.
you're still recording, Harry.
Yeah,
Sure.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Kathleen. Bye.